Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, White Haze, coming back at you with another video. First off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the love you've been showing the previous videos. I just checked my analytics. My Minecraft video has 100+ views. W's in the freaking chat, bro. Seriously. Cannot thank you guys enough for liking, for commenting, for sharing, for watching the video. A couple of comments saying that, you know, like I'm underrated. You have how that makes me feel. To hear that people are genuinely enjoying my content and saying I'm underrated, and you know, I'm a I'm a YouTuber that they actually want to watch and, you know, they're entertained by. That is huge, bro. If I can make one person smile from my content, my job is done. You know what I'm saying? I come here, I record these videos for pure entertainment. No other reason than I genuinely enjoy this. I make no money. In fact, I'm broke. This is my escape from the real world. You know what I'm saying? Sit here in front of my computer and just yap for a second. And that's exactly what we're going to do here today. I'm going to be yapping about Space Marine. Space Marine 2 is such a goated game. Now, in my opinion, the way this launch has gone, the way the game's moving, the planned content that they have, it could be a contender for the game of the year. It could be. Now, because of Black Myth Wukong, I don't know if it'll win, but I think it might get nominated. I hope it does, because this launch has gone so smoothly. They've been working on this game for 10 years. They've been working on this game for a really, really long time. And it shows. You can see the love and the passion put into it. There's rarely any hiccups on PC, and with new games that release, especially early, there's always problems. There's always server problems, or there's like graphic problems, you know, whatever it may be, whatever type of problem on an early release. This game, for me, did not have any problems. I have been so happy with this game. I did buy it early, and I know in my Concord video, I know I'm a hypocrite. In my Concord video, I said I can't condone it, but let me tell you, this game was worth that $90. I swear on my mom. I swear on my life. I swear on everything. This game is amazing. Now, I may be a little bit biased because I like Warhammer. I like that universe. I was super into Dark Tide. I remember thinking like, oh man, a game like this, but with a Space Marine would just, ooh, that would be amazing. Because the things that Space Marines have to fight are not the same as the Guardsmen. You know what I mean? And with the Guardsmen, and well, like in Dark Tide, you know, you're a prisoner, you're whatever. But as the Guardsmen, you fight in numbers. You're expendable, and you are cannon fodder. You are meant to die. There's power in There's power in numbers with the Guardsmen, but with Space Marines, with the Astartes, they are walking tanks. They are walking juggernauts. They are Hulks. They have superhuman strength. They have augmentations done to them, like they have 2 hearts, they have 2 stomachs, they have these like steel cables for tendons, so they can, you know, so they can lift things that are way more than their body weight. They have gene seeds in them that were genetically modified by the Emperor himself. And if you hear in the game, the Primarchs are essentially, if you could think of it, as the fathers of the Astartes chapters. So in Warhammer, there are 20 Primarchs, which means there were 20 chapters. And what that means is the Emperor had 20 sons. He genetically modified these 20 people, these 20 Primarchs, to help him run his empire. And these chapters are very, very diverse. I mean, you have, for example, we have the Blood Angels. So the Blood Angels are one of the first of the 20 to be founded. Like there's newer chapters past that 20. So each Primarch controls their own chapter. So 20 chapters, before things got really crazy, before some wars. There were 20 chapters, and one of them was the Blood Angels. They're amazing. They're so cool. So the Blood Angels have a cursed gene seed, and essentially, the names of these curses are the Black Rage and the Red Thirst, and basically just makes them incredibly blood hungry, and they want to kill. That's it. Another chapter, one of my personal favorite chapters in all of 40K, are the Salamanders. Now, the Salamanders are amazing, amazing. It's just such an amazing chapter. Their whole thing is that they are more in tune with humanity, right? Because the Astartes, I would say probably about 90% of the chapters, 95% of the chapters are all about the mission, are all about loyalty, undying loyalty to the mission and to the Emperor. Now, don't get me wrong, the Salamanders are definitely loyal to the Emperor, to a fault. You know what I'm saying? Because that's Granddaddy. A special thing about them is they will sacrifice the mission to save humanity, to save a human. And no other chapters or anybody in the universe is really known for that. When you load up the game, it pulls up this speech that is essentially, it tells you what the Warhammer universe is about. Let me read this to you.
It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and the master of a million worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the caring lord of the Imperium from whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may truly never die. Yet even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, a psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest among his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, bioengineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard and countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, only to name a few. But for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold up the ever-persistent threat of aliens, heretics, mutants, and much, much worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for the grim dark future there is only war. There is no peace among the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods.
And you're watching this video, I'm sure that brought up a ton of questions. Why does everybody hate humanity? Why are they always fighting off threats? So way back in the day, you get me, way back in the day, G. The Imperium of Man was one with open borders. They did welcome Xenos. They welcomed aliens. But the thing was, nobody was friendly. They kept getting attacked. So eventually, after they had their war with AI and almost went extinct, they stopped that. They became religious zealots and praised the Emperor, because at this time the Emperor had come about and saved them from abominable intelligence, AI, that's what they call it. And so the Emperor is this 11-foot giant, this absolute genius. He is the beacon of light in all of humanity. He is regarded as the God King, the God Emperor. This is a theory.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory.
During the Horus Heresy, the only way he could beat his son was for him to gain more power. And if he were to gain more power, there were prophecies told of a fifth chaos god, the Dark King. Now, the Emperor was such a psychic phenomenon. He had almost infinite psychic power. He could genetically modify anything. Like I said, he made these 20 Primarchs. They made their chapters, and they all praised the Emperor for being this super genius, this savior of humanity. But it says that he's a rotting corpse on the throne that requires 1,000 souls every day to keep alive. And now, why are they keeping him alive? Because they need this thing called the Astronomicon. And what that does is it gives the Navigators of the Imperium, a map of the warp. Now, the warp is this hellish landscape, but it's a different dimension. And that's where all these demons, but they're spelled like daemons, but that's where all these demons originate from. And the warp is just the emotions of man. And these chaos gods are the manifestation of those emotions. Korn, the god of chaos. You can imagine, in a universe like this, there is much chaos. And Slanesh, the god of lust, there is much lust in this universe. And so, with the Dark King being a theory,
a game theory,
he has so much power. And you know what they say about power? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so, when the Emperor took a fatal wound from his son Horus during the Horus Heresy, his underlings heard of this prophecy and knew that they had to keep him alive, for if he were to die, this Dark King would come to fruition, and it would take all of humanity with it. He would take, this Dark King is so powerful because the Emperor, it was thought to be a different person, but as the days went on, people found out that the Dark King was the Emperor. But if they kept him alive and he didn't die, he would not turn into the Dark King. Now, this is a theory. Remember, theory.
A game theory.
Just a game theory. Anyway, so his underlings keep him alive, and they feed him 1,000 souls every single day. Not every week, every day. He does this. He gets these souls every day. And now, back to the Astronomicon. The Emperor is projecting this map of the warp to the Navigators of the Imperium. He's dead. He is projecting this map from his head to all of the Navigators of the Imperium. I'm assuming your next question is, what happens if he dies? Well, I'll tell you. They're stranded. They have no way to travel intergalactically. There is no way that they could do that. The warp is the only way you can go astronomical distances fast. That's the only way that we know of right now for the Imperium of Man to travel. They need that Astronomicon. If they don't have it, every world will be cut off from Terra. And that can't happen. If it happens, humanity is dead. Humanity will fade. The Tyranids, that's the main enemy in this game, are a hive mind. And now, if you don't know what a hive mind is, let me grab the definition for you. A hive mind is a notional. A hive mind is a notional entity consisting of a large number of people who will share their knowledge or opinions with one another, regarded as producing either uncritical conformity or collective intelligence. And this, it gives a science fiction definition: a unified consciousness or intelligence formed by a number of alien individuals, the resulting consciousness typically exerting control over its constituent members. So with that definition in mind, Tyranids are a hive mind. They're the small little grunt, essentially, means nothing. One lictor means nothing. The Tyranids are the ultimate big picture. There are only a couple times during the Imperium of Man where they have won against a Tyranid invasion, and those battles were very slimly won. I mean, it was a miracle. Okay, so I can't find the other battle that I'm referencing, but one of the battles was called the Battle of Macragge. Now, this battle was a hard fought battle that was barely won by the Ultramarines. And the only way they did it, the only way they won. So, the Battle of Macragge was won by essentially starving Tyranids. So, the way Tyranids work is by collecting biomass. And what that means is when they siege a planet, when the Tyranids siege a planet, they void it of life. And what I mean by that is they take all of the life on Earth, the plants, the soil, the humans, the everything, water, I mean, like everything that has life, bacteria, I mean literally everything that is living except bedrock. They take that and they make it into life. They make that into Tyranids. So the only way essentially to stop a Tyranid invasion is to starve it. And this battle was won by doing that. You have to strategically think where these Tyranids are going to planet hop to you and cut it off. It's like fighting a wildfire. It's exactly how we fight wildfires. You have to do a controlled burn to stop it from hopping over to things you want it to burn, right? That's exactly what it's like with Tyranids. Think of the Tyranids as wildfire. The only way to win against them is to starve them and cut them off from you. Kill planets that are close to you so that way they can't planet hop. And Imperium of Man has something for this. It's called Exterminatus. Now, Exterminatus is rarely used because if you think about it, blowing up and devoiding a planet of everything is a giant loss. Think about how many resources could be on that planet. You know what I'm saying? You lose an entire planet of resources. That's a huge hit. And close to you, that's a huge hit. You have to be sure that's the planet you're going to destroy. Because if you destroy it, and that wasn't the planet, well, now you're short resources, and now you still have to deal with the Tyranid invasion. I think this game even downplays Tyranid invasions. It's nearly impossible to fight it. The way Tyranids go about sieging an entire planet is nothing short of amazing. I mean, granted, it is a hive mind, so fighting against a collective intelligence is what seems to be impossible. So that's what this whole game is about. You're an Ultramarine fighting a Tyranid invasion. During some of the parts of the game, you can definitely feel that weight of impossibility. Like, you are seeing a planet get ripped apart in front of your eyes. And the game doesn't even take that long. Like, it doesn't, like, the time frame. You know what I mean? I mean, these sieges are quick, crazy. These Tyranids are the ultimate destroyer of the universe. Yeah, I got off on a whole tangent. Warhammer is one of my favorite stories, one of my favorite science fiction stories. I mean, the lore, the world building, I mean, it's just so nothing short of perfect. Genuinely. And this game has encapsulated that. Maybe they could have done better with the whole mentality of getting invaded by Tyranids. But I get it. It's a video game. You're a space marine. You're meant to be fearless. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not even giving the game any bad points for that. Seriously. Because that's hard to imagine. A full-scale planetary attack where you're essentially hopeless. You can't win. That's a hard thing to portray when you're supposed to be this, you know, badass killing machine that stops at nothing. So I get it. This game has got to be one of my favorite games in a very long time. I mean, it's like if Gears of War and Helldivers had a baby. I mean, it is genuinely such an amazing game. I'm having so much fun with it. It gets super intense sometimes. I mean, there's so many enemies on your screen. You get surrounded so fast. You don't know what the fuck is going on. I mean, you got your buddies behind you slaying Tyranids left and right. I mean, you got another buddy mowing them down, you know what I'm fucking saying? And then you're a bulwark. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, this game is just, this game is like, it's like when you were playing with your toys as a kid. And you know what I'm saying? And you set up every single toy. Doesn't matter where they're from. Marvel, I mean, you got the little army guys, you got Bionicles. They're all lined up about to fight this big, massive war. That's exactly what Warhammer is. It's like if kids were like, oh, well, I have a million little guys and they're gonna go invade your planet. And they're like, oh yeah, well, I have these big strong guys and they can kill anything and they instantly heal themselves. It's probably the coolest universe I've ever seen. Hands down. I don't think there is a better universe, a better written universe in my opinion. I mean, genuinely. I mean, there's other factions in Warhammer that I haven't even touched on, that this game hasn't even touched on. I mean, we got the Necrons, we got the Tau. I mean, dude, whew, I mean, I'm getting off on a tangent here. I mean, if you haven't played Space Marine, or if you're wondering if you should play Space Marine, I know I haven't showed any gameplay, just because I haven't recorded it, but trust me, I do plan on streaming some Space Marine, twitch.tv/whitehaze. I do plan on streaming and making some videos about Space Marine, you know, actual gameplay, but just for this video, word of mouth, I'm telling you, you have to play Space Marine. You have to. It may not be your type of game, which is fine. Not everybody likes slaying millions and millions of Xenos, but I'll tell you what, I enjoy that. I love doing that. It's the ultimate male power fantasy. And if you're about that, buy this game. 100% worth it. 100% worth it. 1,000,000% worth it. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.